Hello and welcome to BQ Prime. You're watching earnings with BQ, and my company in focus today is PB Fintech. The company is into is a fintech company for policies, which is life insurance sector, and also it has a vibrant, loan and other financial services segment as well. And joining me is Mr. Yashish Dahiya, who is the chairman and group CEO, and Alok Bansal, who is the founder and executive vice chairman of the company. Uh, Yashish, starting with you, good set of numbers which are coming in on the top line. 61% jump on a quarterly basis to 869 crores in revenues. What were the triggers for this 61% jump coming in? How much coming in from your existing business and how much from new initiatives?
Sure. So no, these were pretty much at plan. I think, if anything, our EBITDA was probably about $2 million higher on account of some advance purchasing because of some tax regime changes. But on the whole, otherwise, pretty much as we expected. I think both the core business and the new initiatives did well. New initiatives were started about a year and a half ago, and they are obviously much younger businesses, so growing much faster. But they also contained their losses, and from they were at one time almost 90 crores of losses per quarter on the new initiatives. Today they are down to about 35 crores, which was pretty much as planned. So for us internally, everything was pretty much on plan. I guess from an external perspective, also I would see at least at an EBITDA level, maybe a positive surprise from our side of about $2 million. The other is in the new initiative, you would see some additional revenue, but that would also be accompanied by additional direct costs because the new initiatives is mostly a pass-through business, so that's almost 100% direct cost. So again, nothing untoward. It's just slightly higher revenue on the new initiative side.
Yeah, I was looking at your FY23 numbers. 71%, 79% jump in revenues there, but a large portion of that revenue jump is primarily led by new initiatives. So, can you take us through what are these initiatives? How are they panning out? And when do you see these initiatives turning out to be positive from operations point of view?
We are comfortable with the current loss number of about $5 million a quarter on the new initiatives. I don't expect us to try and reduce that in any further in an aggressive manner in the next year or so. I would say maybe even the next 8 quarters, we are giving ourselves some leeway to grow at will in those businesses. I think the good news is that they have been brought under what we think is an acceptable level for us, which is about $5 million. I think the core business continues to do well. I think we should see 30+% growth on the core business, which is again pretty much as planned. Yes, the new initiatives can accelerate or deaccelerate both very rapidly, and that's fine. That's the nature of that business, which is, as I said, it's mostly a pass-through business. And yes, on the EBITDA, I think it will be a contained impact of, as I said, about $5 million a quarter. It should stay range bound within that.
Alok, if you can come in here on the EBITDA front, while Yashish spoke about the fact that new businesses will have a $5 million impact every quarter for next 6 to 8 quarters, can your existing businesses generate enough EBITDA to compensate for that?
Yes. So, if you look at our existing businesses, we have got this insurance and credit business, and both the businesses today are EBITDA positive and generating cash. There is obviously a ESOP charge, which, for companies like us, it's a very large charge to be taken into P&L. But when we talk of EBITDA, we are typically talking about adjusted EBITDA in both the scenarios. See, both the businesses are growing very, very fast, even at scale. And, for the insurance business, we have a very healthy renewal book. And the renewal book is mostly a process because, once you have a book of business which gets created over years, you just need to follow up and get the renewal income every year. On the credit side also, we have started to create a tail income, and that is going to help as we look at the future years. So all in all, from the current existing business of both insurance and credit, we are very, very comfortable with looking out for FY24 and years ahead in terms of how the EBITDA should pan out. Uh, for initiatives, as Yashish mentioned earlier, there are three initiatives we have where first one is the sort of a SaaS platform where the agents use our platform to book their business. And in such a scenario, yes, there is a large pass-through, but we have been becoming efficient over years in terms of the platform, in terms of the different products being offered to the partners. And the second one is the Policyba for Business, which is a corporate business we started about 18 months back. And the third one is a small business where we started looking out at the Middle East markets. But all three put together have been becoming efficient. And, we are very, very focused in terms of our investments into these initiatives because, unlike any balance sheet business, for a business which is more digital, the investment is required to build the tech capabilities, to get the brand out there, to even have the management team in place there. So all these are investments which are required to be done today. And the nature of the business is that these investments come in the P&L rather than balance sheet. But very, very happy with the overall growth of the business in FY23, and we could achieve in Q4 what we had communicated to the market, that this is the aim and this is what we are working towards.
How do you look at the contribution margin for these businesses, both existing and the new initiatives?
See, existing businesses, typically you will see that both credit and insurance have two types of direct cost. One is the customer acquiring cost and what is the customer servicing cost. Now, if we look at the lifetime value of a transaction, because a lot of this renewal revenue, as I said earlier, is a process and it will just keep on coming again and again. So we are looking at a very, very healthy contribution margins of about 55% odd for insurance and maybe a little lower, maybe 45-50% for the credit business. But this takes time to pan out. So today, if you look at our declared numbers, you'll see a number which is 44% for last year as the total contribution for both these businesses put together. But yes, over years, as the ratio of the renewal business increases, you will see a slight increase in these numbers, and obviously there will be some efficiency in the new business as well. For the new initiatives, we are breaking even almost on the PB Partners business, which is the SaaS platform business. On the Middle East business also, I think our numbers in terms of contribution are almost breaking even now. But in terms of the PB for business, which is the corporate business or group business that we started off, that is still requiring some more investment at the contribution level also. But the numbers are very, very small. Overall, if we look at Q4, our contribution loss from all the three initiatives put together was -1%. So it's almost break even at the overall level.
Yes, is it fair to say that going into FY24, the contribution margins will at least be positive for the new initiative businesses?
The contribution margins should stay positive for the new initiatives. But see, as I said, we don't want to bind ourselves in any way whatsoever on the new business front. We have given a guidance that we are comfortable with about a $5 million loss per quarter on the new initiatives. It is a competitive area. We don't want to over guide or over declare our intentions because it's a competitive area, and we have to also be able to compete and win in that market. So range bound within a $5 million loss per quarter, we will play our strategy out, and we will stay fairly open-ended in that rather than kind of close various avenues for ourselves by saying we want to be contribution positive or contribution negative. Whatever we do will be within that broad $5 million range. And the reason we are comfortable with that is because our existing business is now making much more than that in terms of EBITDA contributions. And thus, we feel very comfortable that our existing business is funding these new initiatives out of operating income. We are cash flow positive. We were cash flow positive last quarter. We are going to be significantly cash flow positive in the next year. So we feel very comfortable, and it would be not wise of us to tie ourselves down too much and to not compete in the new initiatives just because we wanted to be a little more efficient in one quarter or the other.
So, your new initiative businesses have been there for at least 12 to 18 months there, and you are saying
Yes.
that they will be in a growth phase which will require uh, capital burn or cash burn for at least 6 to 8 quarters. But do you see that in FY26 these initiatives will be positive and be generating enough cash and EBITDA level? Or is it
I
competitive
think
pressure? Do you
let's.
because
It is too far and
no,
too competitive a
my
time
point
frame.
is that you're putting in 6 to 8 quarters period for the cash burn. So do you see profitability also coming in after 6 to 8 quarters coming in?
Look, we wouldn't be doing a business if we never saw profitability, right? That would be very stupid. So and we don't want to put more comments or more commitments than we have. We have a very clear commitment. 27, we will make 1,000 crores of profit. Whatever we do in terms of new initiatives, whether they are profitable or loss making, will be irrelevant in the scheme of those 1,000 crores. It will be very, very small compared to that, right? So new initiatives are not our medium-term profit source. Our medium-term profit source is our core businesses. The good news is in the medium term, the new initiatives will also not be a very significant part of our loss source. So they will be quite meaningless from a P&L perspective. Yes, they will have a huge revenue impact and a huge scale impact. There's no doubt about that.
How's Paisabazaar scaling up?
Paisabazaar is doing very well. It grew at almost 80% plus last year. So it's doing very well for us. It continues to do well. It's now a profitable entity and it makes money every quarter. It's adding to the pie. It's increasing the strength of the core business. So we feel very good about it. And to us, new initiatives are something we have to still cater to. Paisabazaar is no longer something we have to cater to because it's not taking money. It's actually putting money back into the system. And its renewal revenue is growing very rapidly. So on the whole, we feel good about Paisabazaar and the place we are in. The good news is it does not carry a single penny of risk, which is a massive positive for it.
There have been certain changes that has happened on the regulatory front, especially tax front. Do you see that coming as a boost for Policybazaar and the way people are going to go for protection products going forward?
I don't think so see, the savings category of our industry does have an impact of taxation. I think that is largely an unfavorable move over the next year. So I think it will be a difficult year for the savings category, both for us and for the industry. Yes, we tend to be a little more protection centric, and that area should not be impacted because that out there, the primary consideration of purchase is the protection element, not the tax saving that you make on that.
Alok, Yashish spoke about the fact that you're looking at 1,000 crores of profitability coming in. Can you give me a good idea of where will the most of the profitability coming in and what kind of contribution Paisabazaar will be bringing in by FY27?
Sure. See, as Yashish mentioned, it's a very long time away, 4 years away. But at a high level, I can mention to you how we look at the 1,000 crore profitability. If you look at our last year PAT number for the full year, that's almost negative 488. So just take it to be negative 500, and we have to get from negative 500 to a positive 1,000. So we have to create a delta of about 1,500 crore at the PAT level. So if you look at the specific components, there are some components which will just automatically flow into that 1,500 crore. One of the big ones is the ESOP cost, which will create a delta of about 450 from where it was last year. There is also a new initiative loss, as Yashish mentioned, that will come down. So that will create almost a delta of 200 CR. We are looking at almost creating 150 to 200 crore delta from the other income. So these three put together is talking about roughly half of the 1,500 taken care by these three. Now, for the remaining half, there is a big portion which is coming from the size of the book itself, because as size of the book increases, your revenue from the renewals or the tail income, that increases. And, at a high level, that should create a delta of almost like a 600 crore in terms of the EBITDA. And then another 200 to 250 crore coming from the new business growth and the efficiency. So all put together, that number is little above 1,500 crore, and we are very, very confident that we should be able to deliver 1,000 crore PAT based on these numbers in FY27.
Yashish and Alok, thank you very much for joining us today on BQ Prime. That was the management of PB Fintech, giving us a good idea of how the business has performed over the last financial year and some kind of outlook going up to profitability in FY27. Thank you very much for joining us.